All right, I know I made a Notion video a little less than a month ago, but I've completely updated my Notion operating system for my life, and I wanted to give you guys an update. This is my new second brain in Notion and how I never forget anything that I learn, and I use everything that I consume. So let's dig into it. Let's start with captures. And what captures are quick, on the go, brain dumps, ideas, thoughts, things I learn. So when I'm gone doing somewhere on the go, maybe on my phone or just on my computer, and I think of something, I just open up my Notion, open up a capture tab, and quickly write something in here. And these are all my captures for the week. And then at the end of the week, usually on Sunday, I go through and take care of all my captures and add them to where they belong. We'll get more into the other things later, but they can either be added to the Knowledge Hub, they can be in active projects, or maybe it might do for later at some point. Okay, so that's what captures are. Future and active projects are pretty self-explanatory, are the projects that I'm working on either at some point in the future or currently. And then anything that has to do with those projects go in each of the project pages. So if I open up my active projects and open up, let's say, killer intros, I'll have all the things that go with the killer intros, or heater titles. I'll have a lot of rules that go with heater titles. A lot of my projects have to do with YouTube, obviously, because I like YouTube. But you can see all of my active projects in here. So each one is really simple. All we have is the name and then the source of the project, which you don't need. I usually keep this empty, but if there's a source, then you add it there. And then all the knowledge that goes with that project. And this is in the form of a database, and everything you create has an icon already added onto it. And there's no properties to that. So I like to keep it pretty simple. So like, for example, optimal daily routine. I literally have a bunch of things that I've tried and like things I've written down, pro con list, like just random shit that goes in with that project. And it keeps everything organized in one place. And this comes from Tiago Forte's book, Building a Second Brain. He says to just create the projects and then dump things that go in with each project. And it actually makes a lot of sense, because in the past when I would dump things into my Notion, they would get lost. But when I dump them into the active project that's going on, or the future project, then when I begin that project, all the things that have to do with that project are already in there, and they're already in one place. And it makes it a lot easier to have all the notes that go with it already there. So they'll actually be used. And then when that project is completed, it can be added to the archive, and I know all the notes that are within that project, and I can go within the archive, take out the project, see all the notes that were in with that project. Or I can add that project as a resource, which we'll get into in a little bit. But that's projects. And then we have my knowledge web, which is essentially the second brain. This is everything I've learned from books, podcasts, articles, etc. And how I used to have it is just one central second brain, and you can do that, but I've since separated them, and I also put them into toggles instead of having them be their own pages. This way, when I go to add a capture, if it's something that I'm adding to my second brain, let's say, I don't know, some random thing, glass doors versus wooden doors. So this is something I'm going to add to my second brain. Say, okay, where does this belong in my second brain? This probably has to belong with self-improvement. So I'll go ahead and just drag that into the self-improvement. Boom, now it's part of my second brain. Just like that. So it's a lot easier than manually searching for the database and adding it. And I just like separating them because I can just click through and see all of them. Just a lot more pleasant. Yeah, it looks pretty sleek. So kind of like this. You can keep them all in one centralized second brain if you want, doesn't really matter. But once again, pretty simple. All I have is the source, which is really the only thing that matters. And I used to connect all of my notes to one another, but I since stopped doing that, since now I use search. I search for notes when I'm using them. I think connecting them when I add them was actually just adding a bit of friction and made me stop adding things. All right, now let's get into areas. So areas, once again, are things that really don't have a completion date, whether that be finance, relationship, travel, cooking, things that are continuous. And for you, this is going to be pretty personalized. I mean, other than personal and finance and travel, so some of these things are going to be pretty ubiquitous among everyone that uses this, but a lot of these are going to be very personal. So I'll just walk you through what mine is. I have YouTube. These are all the things that go with my YouTube channel. This is another knowledge base. This is my library. This is my A/B test hub. Next, B-roll filming day, general notes. These are just things that go with my YouTube channel. My personal, this is my job, productivity, finance, relationship, reading, cooking, But these are just things that go along with each. This is again going to be pretty customized. But when you're adding a new one, you just literally press enter, or if you don't know how to do it, you just write /toggle and add a toggle list, and then add your own, and then blah, blah, blah. I've been using toggles a lot. I like them. It keeps everything nice and clean and simple. So you can see here, it's like double toggle. I never have to leave the home page, which is like the idea of it. So it's super nice. So that's areas. Okay, now let me show you my video OS, aka my video operating system. And this is how I use and where I use all of the knowledge that I gather in my knowledge hub and in my knowledge web. So this might be different for you depending on what your creative pursuits are or what you intend on using the knowledge hub for. But for me, what I do is when I go to create a new video, and I showed this in going from a consumer to creator video, you can watch that here if you want to watch that. But basically, I will just Command P, and this allows me to search my second brain, everything on Notion. So if I'm making a video on, we'll say like, what's a video that I'm making? Like my personal assistant AI. So we'll say AI assistant, see if I have anything in my second brain there. Don't think I'm gonna really have anything because this is a new video. You can see everything I have in AI pops up. So then when I'm going to make this video, you can see literally everything that I have on AI. And I can open these up in new tabs by holding Command and pressing on each one. And then when I go to make a new video, I'm starting from all the knowledge in my knowledge hub and all the pages I have on my second brain, rather than just starting from a blank page. So it's extremely useful. And that's how I use my knowledge hub. But this might be different for you depending on what your creative pursuits are and what you intend on using Notion for. But now we go to the might do list. It's a might do list because I might do it. It's not a to-do list because I don't have to do it. But a might do list are things I'm going to do at some point in the future. And how I like to do my might do's are I batch them. So like when I add my captures, like I said before, I'll add all those captures in. Then when I go to clear my captures, I'll add things to my do list, either in the next batch or in the backlog. And then on Sunday or Saturday, or whenever I have a bunch of free time, I'll go through and set aside 3 or 4 hours to do my next batch. And that'll be like 5, 6 things that I set aside for that short period. So for my current next batch, I'm gonna find a good sandwich shop, sell my crypto, get a real ID, go through past FTTs. So that's my next batch. That'll probably take me around 2-3 hours. And then my backlog, I'll do some health checks, reach out to YouTubers for collab, plan Portsmouth, sell AutoZone, and Squid Game showcasting. So things that I might do at some point. This is how I keep track of my short, small to-dos that I want to batch, that are not big enough to be their own projects, but I want to still do them at some point. So I just add them here in the might do list. And to add a new one, you just go up here and click plus to add a new one. There's urgency, energy, and status. So I like to keep it pretty simple. And then when you're going to start, you just go here and show the group. And this is the next batch. So while you're in progress with it, you just go to the next batch. And then when you finish each one, you just drag them through over to completed. So really simple and intuitive. If you haven't used Notion before, I apologize that this might be kind of advanced. Then we have the resources tab. This is yet to be filled out because I just obviously started using this template that I've created like about a week ago. So I haven't completed any projects yet to add them to resources, but this will be like completed projects, things that I've done at some point that I want to reuse, that I don't want to just put in the archive because they're too useful and I use them a lot. So that's what resources is. And then archive, obviously all the things you've completed. So like when you finish a project, or like if an area ends, like you leave your job or something, you just drag everything and put it into the archive. So you have all the things you've completed and everything else that you don't want to get rid of all in one place, so you can search through it and still find everything. So you're never actually deleting things. And that's it. Clean, minimal, simple. That's how I like it. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'll leave a template link down below if you want to use this template that I made. It'll be down there. If you want to watch a video similar to this, you can watch one here. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell. 5% of you that watch are subscribed, 95% are. So just, throw me a little subscribe, throw me a little like, and hit the notification bell. Do all that good stuff. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and peace.